Good evening, and welcome. As we kick off the festivities of your commencement weekend, I want to take this opportunity to pause, to mark this moment, as this special event will be the last time that the class of 2023 and the adults of the Phillips Academy community will come together. Just our little bubble to share in friendship, fellowship, celebrating each other and the relationships you have built. Because soon, friends and family will descend upon campus and the energy will shift. And so we pause. Together here in Cochran Chapel, a space which for many of you may have marked your first introductions to Andover, nervously attending the day student open house or the day with Andover, when the idea of PA was still just a dream. And then, happily, you may have come for spring visits where you said yes to Andover. This chapel is also where the tradition that began with the 14th head of school, Barbara Landis Chase, was born. It may have been during your new student convocation that you were asked to look up and find your angel, to mark your beginning and to know that your angel would always be here during your time at Andover. And for the members of your class whose journeys began in the midst of the pandemic, you likely did not have that opportunity, so I invite you to look up and choose your angel now. Your Andover angel and all they represent will always be here to welcome you home. And in all your subsequent reunions, you will again gather together here in Cochran Chapel with your soon-to-be extended Andover family. For each of you seniors on this kickoff to commencement weekend, I hope you will take a moment to consider all those angels in your life, especially those who sit amongst you tonight, who have made it possible for you to be here this evening, who supported, mentored, and guided you during what was undoubtedly not always an easy road. So welcome to this special evening. Enjoy your time with one another and with your Andover angels.
First, I want to thank Ms. Savino, Ben, and all of my classmates and teachers that have made it possible for me to speak here today. What is the bravest thing you've ever said? Was it the time you asked your crush out on a date? Or maybe asked a question at ASM? For me, the bravest thing I've ever said is I need help. As the horse said in the short film, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, asking for help isn't giving up. It's refusing to give up. The simple phrase took a while to leave my mouth, mostly because I had quite the ego freshman year. Prior to Andover, I was always told I was the best. But when I came here, for the first time in my life, I was failing tests and getting lower grades than ever in all my papers. I'd always placed all my worth on my academics, so when those were less than optimal, I told myself I was nothing. After every math test, I would go to the Morse bathroom and cry, hugging my backpack, imagining it was my parents. I wanted to leave Andover more than anything. I just wanted to give up. So I decided to make a change. I set my heart on doing anything I could to get my grades up. Staying up way past lights out, being that freshman, grinding out work in silent, and spending the weekends in the dorm to finish essays. I set out to prove myself. And of course, to prove myself, I had to do everything by myself. My sole source of joy was any academic validation I could find. And I got it. I got my 5 in geometry and even a 6 in my Bio 100 lab report. I was happy, momentarily. After everything was done, all I could think was, now what? At the end of the day, I was still having my weekly cry sessions in Morse. I still missed my parents. I still was miserable. I still wanted to give up, and now I was lonely too. So what was I even doing any of this for? It wasn't until my lower spring that I was finally able to answer that question. My roommate, Dory, and I had started our tradition called Friday Night Laydowns, where every Friday night we would just go to our floor and talk. During one of our very first Friday Night Laydowns, we just couldn't stop laughing. And then my laughter turned into tears. In that moment with her, I realized how much time I had wasted. All the fear, anxiety, and sadness came spilling out of me as I laid on the Paul Revere carpet. As I talked to Dory about it, it forced me to confront my anxiety and realize I needed to ask for help. She recommended I go to a psych counselor, and although that was scary at first, it ended up being one of the best decisions I've made at Andover. Through Dory and my counselor, I learned that Andover isn't meant to be done alone. If I hadn't asked for help, I never would have opened my eyes to all of you. I wouldn't have found my people or my community. As I'm sure many of you, my fellow seniors, are doing, I've been reflecting a lot on my time at Andover recently. I will always remember that sin x squared plus cosine x squared equals 1 and f equals ma. But most of all, I will remember all of you. I'll never forget dancing to High School Musical songs in front of the pan windows with friends for everyone to see, cheering behind the lanes at swim meets so much that I sounded like a 13-year-old boy going through puberty, or seeing the Eden Garden in bloom for the first time with Miss Fulford after returning from online classes. I will always be thankful to Andover for giving me such a comprehensive education, but I'm most grateful to all of you. You, my classmates, friends, and teachers, have taught me that asking for help, although one of the hardest things to do sometimes, is a strength. This community has taught me the importance and value of reaching out to those around me. Now, as we're about to leave Andover, I would like to rephrase my initial question. What is the bravest thing you're going to do, and how are you going to do it? As we move on to something new and unknown, we have to keep asking these questions and pushing ourselves to strive to achieve something great. And as I've learned, that greatness can't be achieved alone. Together, as a community, we have the opportunity to impact and influence more than we could as an individual. Although we are going our separate ways, the support and strength that we have gained from this community will stay with us always. It is this support and this strength that has shown me how to be brave. So thank you all for these past few years. I can't wait to see what amazing things we do from here. And now we're going to be hearing from the incredible Indigo, who are playing an original song titled End of Time.
All right. Sorry for the bad, not smooth transition here. It is really an honor to be able to play at Community Convocation, so thank you all so much for having us. Thank you, Dr. Sikri, for inviting us to play. And this is a song called End of Time. If I were to look back in time, I would see that night we sprawled on the sofa drinking Sprite, saying what if we stayed up until sunrise. Years went by and young hearts died. The nights got cold and so did I. You were lost in a purple sky. The hardest part is not goodbye. It's when the memories tear up the eye. If we got split to different walks of life, tell me why I'm still used to you by my side. And every time I lie awake thinking of our golden days, tomorrow's misery seems so far away. Maybe at the end of time I'll see you again down the line. On that day, will you say you remember me? Remember when we seized the twilight, took an image of your smile behind the candlelights. We got lost in each other's eyes. Now the days just pass on by. Forms and papers, suits and ties, can't tell day apart from night. The hardest part is not goodbye. It's when the memories tear up the eye. If we got split to different walks of life, tell me why I'm still used to you by my side. And every time I lie awake thinking of our golden days, tomorrow's misery seems so far away. Maybe at the end of time I'll see you again down the line. On that day, will you say? I just want to take this moment to really quickly share a few words. So 4 years ago, we all sat here. Well, not all of us, but I remember sitting here in this very chapel, and Mr. Jim Ventry told us that we were chosen and to look forward to the next few years. And I feel like for a lot of the next few years, the last few years, we're just always looking forward a lot. As lowerclassmen, we're looking forward to become upperclassmen. And as upperclassmen, we're looking forward to things beyond Andover. And I think in all of that, this couple of days is a really good time for us to finally look back and take a moment to remember all of the great friends that we made. And tonight is also about celebrating all the faculty members, so thank you all so much for making the experience here at Andover so great. So just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's sitting here tonight. If I could, I would like to invite all of you to sing along and sing after me for this next part. Is that okay? All right. Ready? Sing it all. 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 Thank you very much. Every time I lie awake, maybe at the end of time I'll see you again down the line. On that day, will you say you remember me? Will you say you remember me?
much. Hold on. Is it on? I think it is. All right. Wait, shout out Indigo though. Hold on. Round of applause, you know, facts. All right. Well, first of all, hello everyone. You may know me as Ben, or Ben PV, Alvario, or simply with my last name, Perez. It's hard having such a common first name like Ben. Shout out Foreman. Shout out Garazo. Facts. Well, I am so honored to be here today. And before I begin, I want to give a huge thanks to Ms. Savino, Emma, and everyone who helped me be up here today. That means all my classmates, teammates, teachers, anyone who shared a meal with me, watched my YouTube videos, which, hold on. But yeah, I want to thank you all for that, you know? Subscribe to LBMPV_ on YouTube, facts. All right. No, but most importantly, I want to thank all of y'all for being here today, for giving me a bit of your time, and for listening to what I have to say in the next couple of minutes. I promise it will be worth your time. Looking at everyone's beautiful faces gathered here today, shoulder to shoulder, brings me back to a time when, unfortunately, we're not able to be within 6 feet of each other. That period of time was definitely a wild one. I remember leaving as a freshman at the end of winter term, thinking I'd come back to campus in 2 weeks, and to my surprise, once we actually all came back, some of my friends who prior to leaving they were like inches shorter than me. And then once I came back, they were taller than me, have grown faces full of beards, like, you know? I mean, I'm looking at you, Charles. Yeah. Nah, but honestly, the thing that really saddened me was being away from the thing that makes Andover so incredible, and that's the people. And I know this sounds like mad redundant, corny, you know, because everyone says this, but actually, when I got into Andover, the thing that convinced me to say yes was the wide array of talented, smart, and kind people that greeted me during Revisit Day. And let's just say that this has been a common theme during my time at Andover. Something that always reminds me about the vast community at this school is a common room located in the basement of Foxcroft, the dorm that I lived in the past few years. Shout out Mr. O'Reilly. For context, if you walk into the common room, you will be greeted by various flags representing countries and states where past members of the dorm have come from, which include flags from Venezuela, Russia, Mexico, and for my contribution, hold on, you know. El Salvador, you know, facts. Yeah. Wait, is it on right? I think it's right. All right, boom. So now, this is actually really extremely important to me because having been born in El Salvador, it has given me a unique perspective that includes beautiful memories which have shaped my identity. And such memories include breathtaking landscapes that range from volcanoes to black sandy beaches, and that's not even to mention the delicious food the country has to offer, such as pupusas, which if you were in Ms. Tapa's class this term, you know how fire they are. Facts. Hold on, where are they? Yeah, and lastly, the foundation for my love of music, which if you know, I'm always blasting music, and it includes genres such as reggaeton, cumbia, and bachata. Unfortunately, those beautiful memories are accompanied by not so sunny experiences, such as being a witness of gang violence, seeing the impact it has had on those who I love, and having been personally impacted by such a crisis due to it forcing me to move to the States at the age of 7. And let's just say that being an immigrant in this country, started from zero, both in social status and financially, is not the easiest thing. For one, my parents had to take on long hours in order to provide for the necessities for my sister and I, which meant that my mother, which she's right there, everyone say, hola, hola mami, ¿cómo está mami? Yeah. And my sister too, she's recording, facts. So yeah, my mom who used to be a stay-at-home mother in El Salvador, tapped into her talents and began to hone her skills in cosmetology while working in beauty salons. Now, I want to introduce one of the quotes by one of my favorite poets, Jermaine Lamar Cole, also known as J. Cole, or quite simply, the GOAT. Now the quote goes like this: "There's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success." Now, I want to focus on the beauty in the struggle part, because the beauty that I found in my family's experience came in the form that I was spending a lot of time in my mother's workplace, either because I would be getting a fresh cut, facts, or because I simply enjoyed getting involved in the town's gossip. Everyone likes to go to gossip, Now, but truly, being able to witness my mother's development and her skills truly inspired me, not only by instilling a sense of persistence in the tasks that I did every day, but also by inspiring me to learn how to cut hair, primarily because I wanted to make sure I could cut my own hair, Especially when we're not able to leave campus due to COVID restrictions. Now, this brings me to the past 2 years at Fox. Through the new skills that I had acquired, I found myself not only blessing myself with fresh cuts, but also being able to garner a sense of community with those who will stop by during their weekends and lay their trust in my hands as the clippers buzzed. Little by little, during the 45-minute periods my friends have spent on the barber chair, which is just a wooden chair, they have told me about their own life experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all under the condition that whatever is said on that chair stays on that chair. By being able to offer a piece of what I consider home in the form of a barrio cuts, which is what I named the impromptu barbershop, I found that, though yes, my experience is unique to me and only me, by creating space to hear other people's truths, there are countless of lessons, laughs, and memorable moments that one can use in order to grow as a person. Primarily because you all are incredible people doing incredible things with incredible goals, which I know you all will achieve and even surpass. That's why I hope to stay in touch with you all, because come on, I gotta give someone a haircut in the White House one day, Yeah. And let me just say that I also cut long hair, so this is not just for people looking for fades and short hair, And also, Dr. Kington, I know Commencement's coming up, so if you need a lineup, I got you. Yeah. Truly though, I cannot wait to witness this class's success, being able to tell future generations about how I was in math class with so-and-so, cut one of the world's biggest CEOs' hair, and honestly, just being able to celebrate each other's wins, no matter where in the world we end up bringing our own piece of Andover home. With that said, it starts now. Senior weekend, prom, baccalaureate, graduation, it all starts now. And as my second favorite poet, Drake, once said, after a post-game interview in 2019, this is poetic. You just gotta watch it happen. I want my chips with the dip. I want my chips with the dip. Facts. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Yeah. Thank you. With that said, next up we have Christina Landolt, class of 2002, with a song, Soaring. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you to that crew. Good evening. When I was asked recently to speak here tonight, I was honored, but if I'm being really honest, my mind immediately went to three things. One, I don't relish the idea of speaking to a crowd. Two, I have no idea what I would say. And three, I can't imagine that those of you who have had me as a teacher, a dean, a coach, a house counselor, or worse yet, a mom, need to hear from me again. So I thought about who you might want to hear from. Ted Lasso and Roy Kent had a match against West Ham, strike one. Michelle Obama had a graduation to speak at, strike two. Taylor Swift said she had a few things on her schedule this month, strike three. And then it hit me. I have often wished that I had the power of Dr. Dolittle, even just for a day, to gather the wisdom of these two characters. But given all of the miles and all of the hours that I have spent walking this campus with them, I think that I might have an idea of what they might like to say to you tonight. So here goes. Lesson 1, wag your tail. It is said that dogs communicate through the position of their tail, whether it's held high or low, whether it wags to the left or to the right, or in circles. All mean different things. For any of us who are lucky enough to come home to a dog who immediately starts thumping their tail on the ground in excitement, it means one thing: an instant and unadulterated feeling of being appreciated and loved. Find ways to show your gratitude and love each and every day. Don't wait for the right moment or the big moment. Random acts of kindness are just that, random. A hug, a smile, a note, or a word of encouragement, something that makes someone else feel seen. Lesson 2, ask for belly rubs. Ever since he was a puppy, Yukon's first instinct when somebody pets him is to roll over and offer up his belly for a rub. He knows what makes him happy, and he asks for it without hesitation. This act of submission makes him vulnerable, but his trust is unwavering. While a belly rub is likely inappropriate, seek out the things in life that bring you joy. You deserve to be happy, and when you radiate peace and happiness, you shine that light on the people around you. Lesson 3, be curious. Animals are naturally curious, and dogs use multiple senses to learn about their surroundings. Yukon and Charlie will see something new, sniff it, scratch at it, and maybe even taste it. Sometimes this has less than desirable consequences, but we've been lucky so far to not run into any skunks. Don't make assumptions about the people you cross paths with. Be curious and take the time to get to know them by asking questions and listening to understand. You can't truly know someone until you know their story, and that takes time, trust, an open mind, and an open heart. Lesson 4, shed the unnecessary. The tumbleweeds of dog hair blowing around my house at this time of year attest to the fact that golden retrievers are professional shedders. The fuzzy undercoat of fur that keeps them warm all winter is discarded each spring, leaving just the long, smooth outer coat. This process leaves them ready for swims in the river and the hot summer months. How do we shed the unnecessary? Start by refusing to be weighed down with negative self-talk, doubt, or regret. Let go of emotions, material goods, and people in your life that aren't building you up. Focus on the things and the people that center you. Lesson 5, find the shady spots. No matter where we are, Yukon manages to seek out and find the shady spots. Grassy knolls under a tree, hard pavement under a car. It doesn't matter as long as it's shady. He knows it will be cooler, and when you are an 85-pound golden retriever with a thick, curly coat, this is important. As your lives become busier and more complicated, as you take on more responsibility and the stakes get higher, be sure to find your shady spots, the activities, spaces, places, and/or people who help you decompress and chill out. Lesson 6, welcome new friends. When Aiden and I drove to Rowley 4 years ago on a whim and came home with a 3-month-old puppy, we surprised pretty much everyone, but no one more than Yukon. Then 9 years old, Yukon had never shared his family, and to say he was initially displeased would be an understatement. My original thinking was that I wanted Yukon to be able to train the newest member of the family, but what I didn't count on was the gift of friendship and youthful energy that Charlie has brought to Yukon. Leaving PA and the friendships you have forged over the last 1 to 4 years is a big step, And no matter what your plans are for next year, you are likely to be engaged in a new community. You may feel like you have all the people that you need in your life right now, but you never know when your Charlie is going to come around, so keep an eye out. Lesson 7, never stop chasing squirrels. Yukon and Charlie have never caught a squirrel, thank goodness. But that has never stopped them from trying. The trees between Churchill House, Bishop, and Bancroft are littered with squirrels making victory sounds every time they successfully outrun, outdodge, and outclimb Charlie and Yukon. But when the next squirrel drops down for the challenge, it is always game on. Dream big, even if you fail, and especially if you fail, keep trying. When you know what you want, dodge left, dodge right, climb high, and when and if you change your mind, don't be afraid to go bark up a different tree. Lesson 8, always come home. Because I am always diligent about keeping both dogs on a leash when I walk them, this rarely happens, maybe not. But on the few occasions when either Charlie or Yukon has wandered away, they always find their way back to the house, usually before I do. Likely this is because they know where their food and water are. But I would also like to think that it's because they know where home is, and that home is where their people are, and that we will love them and care for them unconditionally, no matter how far they have ventured. As your time at Andover winds down, I think I can safely speak for all the adults sitting amongst you in this beautiful chapel, as teachers, deans, coaches, house counselors, advisors, and in my case, especially as a mom. We hope that you too will always find your way home to Andover. Yukon and Charlie will be here waiting for you, and we will as well. Congratulations and the best of luck. Thank you.
Is this louder this time around, or same volume? Louder. It needs to be louder, or it is needs to be loud? Can this be louder? No, okay, got it. Thank you, thank you. Oh! Slightly better. Thank you so much. All right, in case this is still not loud enough, this song I think a lot of you will know, so I just need everyone to help us out here, all right? Just sing along with us if you can. That would be awesome. I can do it. All right, let's go. All right, let's go. A 1, a 2, 1, 2, 3. They're talking away. I don't know what to say, I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me. Take me on, and I'll be gone in a day or two. And needless to say, I'm odds and ends, I'll be stumbling away. I slowly learn that life is okay. You sing after me. It's no better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take me on, and I'll be gone in a day or two. Let's go. One, two, one, two, one, two. Go! I say all the things you say. Oh, is it life or just to bring my worries away? You're all the things I've got to remember. You're shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway. Take on me. Take me on. And I'll be gone in a time. Whoa. Let's go, Dylan! One, two. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Indigo. I appreciate your effort and your music, your liveliness. I always love when you guys get up here and perform, so thank you. Another round of applause for them. Including Indigo. Thank you to all of our performers, speakers, faculty, staff, and administrators for being here, and most of all, the class of 23. It has truly been a memorable evening kicking off the celebration of this beautiful group of young adults. I'm here to close tonight's event and get us to Snyder Center to enjoy some fantastic food and community together. I'll make this short because the joke is nobody really remembers what the last person has to say, but hopefully, as we process out, I can help you remember something about yourself and something that you can hold on to forever about your class. We love numbers here, especially the number 6, so I want to give you some numbers to reflect on. 265, the days since we sat here for our first senior class meeting in the fall. 627 days ago, your upper year kicked off on September 10th, 2021. 1,360 days ago, in September, you started your high school career, or 1,724 days for those of you who have repeated or are PGs. Shout out to y'all. In those days, you have grown, met new friends, challenged yourself, passed tests, failed some tests, found joy, cried, laughed, danced, reflected, competed, dreamed, and envisioned. All in all, as it says in the song These Heights by Bassjackers, a good life with a couple bad times, a million mistakes, but we made it out fine. This life, it always finds a way to lead us to these heights. You are here. You, class of 23, have made it to this new height, the verge of your Andover graduation. At this height, I can't help but remember our school slogan, Fini Origine Pendant. Sorry for the classical scholars if I said that wrong, but the end depends on the beginning. And this, my friends, is the end, and it is day one to the beginning of your future. In a couple short minutes, I'll invite Victoria Ortiz and Andrew DeBenedictis up to unravel your flag. This 2023 flag is one that will, once dismissed, walk behind to the Snyder Center. And it is a flag that your class will walk behind every year you have a reunion at Andover. As it unravels and starts the ceremony of your class to become alumni and alumnus, I want to leave you with this. First, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So as you walk behind this flag to prom, to your graduation circle, if there's one thing to do every time, it's to be you. You are a human being, not a human doing. There's not one thing you have to do outside of who you are for you to be loved and cheered for. In this world, as you leave Andover, always be you. Second, effort. As I always tell my PE classes, effort counts thrice, which means 3 times. You have shown tremendous effort to be here tonight. As you begin your journey out into this world, continue to bring your best effort. It will only be June 1st, 2023, once. In history, every next day that will happen, in those times we get every day, you only get that once. You deserve the best effort out of you each day. The best part about effort is no one can take that from you. So wherever you are, and whatever you decide to do, bring your best effort. You will continue to leave a very proud legacy on wherever you go, just as you've left a legacy here at Andover. Lastly, our class motto that we kind of talked about, that upper year, our class meeting. I pinky promise that I know we'll be okay if we stick together. That's one love. As you leave this chapel and this campus, if there ever comes a day when we can't be together, and that day is coming, let us hold each other in our hearts, and we will be there forever. I know I will keep you in my heart forever. My heart is very, very full of joy for each and every one of you. I am proud of you, and I speak on behalf of Ms. Murata, the faculty and staff, the administration. We are so very proud of you. I love you, and I'm so honored to be your class advisor. Ori, one love. Andrew and Victoria, can you come up, please? So you're gonna grab one side, Andrew's gonna grab the other side. Yeah, and then just unravel it. One last time before we process, I just want to repeat all this together. I pinky promise that I know we'll be okay when we stick together. That's one love. We are dismissed. Thank you very much. You guys can walk.